This is Jazmine with Listen to Your Single Friend. We're going to be talking about the good, the bad, and the lonely. Hi guys, welcome back to the show. So this week I am talking about dating and some of the bullshit excuses we make that I feel like kind of holds us back in our dating lives. So let's keep the conversation going on Instagram and Facebook. That's Listen to Your Single Friend. Twitter is Your Single, FRND. Make sure to tune into the accounts on Fridays for Screenshot Friday. Listen to Your Single Friend is a book, so make sure to sign up for the book mailing list to get more information on release dates, pre-orders, the whole nine. Go to the website, ListenToYourSingleFriend.com. Also, make sure to subscribe on YouTube. All right, guys, it's time to throw it back to our trivia from last week. Here's the clip. Typically, dating specialists suggest waiting until the blank date to cook someone dinner at home. Is it the second date, the third date, the fifth date, or the ninth date? The answer is B. It's the third date. I'm not okay with that, but I know some of y'all are. But I am very anti going over men's houses. I don't like them at my house. That's just not my thing. I have to date a guy and have been dating him for well over a month before I'm feeling comfortable being at all of his house. But the answer is 3. 3 dates. So I just wanted to put that out there for my girls who want to do something cute and cook for a first date, or if you're just wondering when is an okay time to start going over his house. So I think it's completely fair. Go on 2 dates, and especially with the panini, go on 2 dates and then, hey, come over, I'll cook for you. I think it's fair. I just don't abide by that, but I wanted y'all to know. So that is the answer. Now it's time for the quote of the day. I'm always going to start you guys off with some positive vibes. When I lost all of my excuses, I found all of my results. So the theme of today is no excuses. And I just wanted this quote of the day to be some accountability, basically for all of our asses. This applies, a lot of time, the quote of the day applies to all facets of your life. And we'll talk about specifically how that affects you when you're dating life later on in this episode. But when we start with the excuses, we're going to find results because we're going to start making sure that we're putting in the effort and the time and the research to commit to the things that we truly want to achieve. Now it's time for Goals and Goofies. So this week for Goals, I'm going to read you guys this screenshot that was in this Facebook group. So this girl posted, she said she went on a date with this guy on Saturday and woke up to this text this morning. He says, I'm assuming that, they talked about if you enjoyed the date or not. So he responds, I did, but I must say this. I just got out of a relationship recently, and I think I tried to hop on this dating train way too early. It's immature to me to just stop texting someone. So I'd rather be transparent and let you know that I got to take a step back and really take some time to get over this. Now, it was presented to me as goofies, and a lot of people in the comments were like, well, why didn't he figure this out before he even went out on the date? And I don't agree with that, y'all. I actually think that this is goals, because in my opinion, you went out on a date, you realized, hey, you know what? I'm moving too fast. He probably was thinking about the ex the whole time. Sometimes it does take getting back out there to realize you're not ready to be out there. It just is what it is. Now, later on in the episode, I want y'all to get back out there. But hey, if you do go on that date and you realize it's not working for me, or, I'm just not ready for this, I respect the fuck out of this. And the fact that he told her and was transparent, that's cool with me. I thought this was very mature. And you know what? I am here for this. It's been a couple of times this week where people have sent me screenshots of people sending them what I like to call like a Dear John letter, basically saying, "Hey, this isn't working for me," or "Hey, I'm not looking for anything serious," or "Hey, I think that you're a wonderful person, but I just need kind of some time to myself." So I've seen people sending me screenshots like this, and I just like, what? At the end of the day, I respect it, because as someone whose time has been wasted by someone who was emotionally unavailable, it's very frustrating. And my thing was always, man, I wish he would have just told me that from the very beginning, that he's not available in the way that I need him to be. He's not he wants to play around and wants to like hang out and do all the boyfriend things, but he's not looking for a commitment, or he's not emotionally available. Shout out to the emotional unavailable people who are letting people know up front. I'm not judging anybody for being emotionally unavailable, but I am judging the emotionally unavailable people who sit up here and pull other people into their bullshit and then don't say anything until after the fact. I don't think that's cool. But the folks who are letting people know up front, hey, I just gotta let you know, this ain't gonna be that, and that's just what it is. I fuck with that, quite honestly. So I think that this is gold. Shout out to this guy. They went on a date and he just said this is what it is, and I'm cool with that. Now, emotionally unavailable people, be clear, people not gonna be waiting for you after your little time frame is up. So as long as you're fully transparent, because what I just get this sneaking suspicion sometimes, that people like this, particularly men, they like to follow up after the fact, just to see if something's still hitting. Like, just be mindful, ain't nobody gonna be waiting around for you to deal with your shit. But we appreciate the upfrontness and the honesty. So that's goes, y'all. It really goes to just communicate with people. That really is what it boils down to. Next up is Goofies, and y'all should have seen this coming. Piers Morgan is so bitch made. Oh my God. So if you have not been on the internet the last couple of days, or just don't know or don't care, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, they escaped to the United States because of all the racism and just the mess that they were dealing with at Buckingham Palace. And so they did this explosive interview with Oprah a couple of days ago, and basically kind of called out their mistreatment. And at one point, Meghan Markle talks about how bad she was being treated, to the point that she was having suicidal ideation, I think is how you pronounce it. She was having suicidal thoughts. And there's a lot of people, I'm sorry, but a lot of these Brits are racist as fuck. Like, I see it on Twitter all the time. And there's a lot of people that don't like Meghan, and they say it's not because she's half black. They say it's, well, she took Carrie away, and just nonsense. A lot of people are just fucking racist and don't like her. So people get on the internet and they're like, well, I don't believe her. She's just saying this to seek attention. And it's so disgusting and it's so ugly. Piers Morgan is a news correspondent for Great Morning Britain, and I knew about him a few years ago because all Piers does is drag Meghan, and he's been doing this for years. Now, the Daily Mail drags Meghan too. There are certain news publications and platforms who literally find any old thing to drag Meghan about, and it's just ridiculous, to the point where Meghan and Harry had to sue. I think they sued the Daily Mail. Actually, they sued a couple of news publications. But Piers Morgan just disgusting. Every time he talks about Meghan, he is just so upset. He tweets about her constantly. Somebody counted, they said in 1 week he tweeted about her 350 times. Obsessed, right? So then there is a clip. There's actually two clips rolling around the internet streets, because Piers apparently went out with Meghan right before she met Prince Harry. And so what happened was he goes on in the whatever interview he was doing, and he says, well, I put Meghan in a cab. We have drinks, we have dinner, everything's cool. I put her in a cab to an address. Well, unbeknownst to me, the address was to a party. And basically, he alleges that at that party, that's where she met Prince Harry. So it all makes sense why Piers Morgan is so upset with Meghan and why she has constantly been in his mouth for the last 4+ years. Like, everything he says about her is negative. He just be going in like a bitter little bitch. It's just ridiculous. And now we got the full like concept of this, because we know that he took her out and he feel like, I never heard from her again after that, because she went on to meet the prince. She went on to meet the prince and also her fucking future husband. Like, first of all, Piers Morgan is ugly, and I don't know if this story is even true. You know why? Because Meghan literally has never said a peep about him. Like, Meghan don't have nothing to say about nobody. She just be chilling. And the thing is, Piers want to sit up here and, paint her out like, well, basically he got ghosted or whatever. Okay, and bitches get ghosted every day. Like, what's the big deal? But the fact that he used his platform to bully her, because that's what all the UK publications, the British publications have been doing, is bullying Meghan. But the fact that he has this fucking vendetta because he didn't get her, again, he ain't even all of that. And honestly, it probably wasn't even like that. Like, he is, a popular news correspondent over there. And so it's like, if someone asks me, I'm a professional, you know what I mean? But I also like to network, and networking is important, depending on what you're doing. So she probably was an actress at the time still. Well, she was, because this was before Prince Harry. So she's an actress at this time. Of course, I'm going to be meeting up with the head of what is damn near Good Morning America in the British version. Like, because I want to be on your show. Like, so in my mind, I could easily justify this as she went out for drinks because she's getting ready to pitch a story about herself so she can come on the show, or you know what I mean? Like, that is just where my mind went to, because he is ugly. And apparently he has a wife, and that's also very embarrassing, because you're married. I don't know how long he's been married, but he's married. It probably hasn't been that long, but he's married now. And like, how embarrassing is that you literally get on TV every fucking day to drag a girl you went out on a date with once, what he claims is a date. I personally am not claiming that as a date. I'm just going to assume that this was just, going out for drinks, hanging out. Like, it wasn't all of that. And he's we went on a date and I never heard from her again because she met the prince. And so the best part about this is, after the Oprah interview the other day, Piers Morgan gets on TV, starts acting like a little bitch, and his not castmate, but one of his co-hosts on the show, this guy Alex, I can't pronounce his last name or can't remember it, but Alex was just like, you have gotten on this show every day and said horrible things about Meghan. Has she ever responded after all these years? Has she ever responded? You have a personal vendetta against her, and you just get here and you say this bad stuff about her all the time. Like, I don't get it. Calls him out, says everything that we've been thinking for all these years. Piers gets up and he storms off the set of live news TV because he's a bitch. So apparently he doesn't work for Great Morning Britain anymore. I feel like they should have fired him because he did some other gross shit to his female co-host, talking about how short her dress was and like made her stand up, and he's just, I don't know if the rules are different in Britain, but he's just very, very inappropriate in general, because that whole correspondence between him and his coworker and how short her dress was, it was just really disturbing. And then I don't know if I mentioned this, but the important part was he said he didn't believe Meghan about the suicide thing. Just repeating what people have been saying, like, well, I don't believe her. She's just doing this for attention. Like, that's just super fucked up. And it's just super trifling. Well, we don't believe you about the stupid shit that you've been saying and about how Meghan played you. How about that? Like, he's such a crybaby ass bitch. And it's just like, some men cannot handle rejection, and it's just really, really sad. Like, it's really sad. And the fact that he gets held to the fire for not even 60 seconds by his co-host, and he storms off the stage. Are you kidding me? Very ghetto. Shout out to Prince Harry, by the way. That is goes as fuck. Harry said, we getting my wife the fuck out of here. Fuck my family because they on bullshit and they're racist. So Harry is just a true man, and he took care of his wife and his family. And I just shout out to Prince Harry because I love him. He was supposed to be my prince, but it's okay. But yes, Piers Morgan is goofy because, disgusting. Now it's time for our main segment. So about like a week or so ago, I asked you guys if you had been on a date in 2021 yet. And I too admitted that I hadn't yet, been on a date in 2021, but I was committing to do so this month, and I wanted you guys to do the same. What concerned me is the folks who had not been on dates in well over a year. Like, I was just so inspired and charged up by all these comments about people not dating, not wanting to date, or who haven't dated in years. This episode is going to be my tough love episode. Some of y'all haven't dated in years, and I'm talking pre-panini, and I just feel some type of way about that. Or even if it's just been a few months, I just feel like it's time for us to get off of our asses. I'm saying us, because I said I wanted this month to be a March challenge where everyone goes on one date this month, and that includes me. With the pandemic, I feel like we've definitely gotten a little bit lazy, or maybe just comfortable with our solitude, and that's cute or whatever, but some of us are just really not being honest with ourselves. Ladies, this is my disclaimer. If you legit do not want love and companionship and partnership right in this moment, then that's okay. My only disclaimer is for those of you who know and acknowledge that you truly need healing and self-care time and are actively doing that. That is okay. However, of the women that reach out to me, very few have been able to verbalize that they truly need this space and are doing the work. I could just tell the difference between women who wanted to focus on themselves and the women who were just making excuses because they're too scared to date. And I just feel like a lot of y'all be making excuses. And I'm like, why so serious? That's a line from one of my favorite movies, The Dark Knight. But that's just how I feel sometimes, because going on one funky little date, it just does not have to be that serious. It does not have to be that deep. So I'm going to go through some of the excuses y'all be given for not having gone on a date in a significant amount of time. And then I'm going to do some myth busting. So some of y'all need a kick in the ass, and that's what I'm here for. Dating burnout is real, but some of y'all are legit not even trying anymore. And, I'm just going to give my story. I did not just happen into this dating lifestyle, at all. It'll probably surprise some people, but I truly used to believe in, dating one person at a time. And I just thought that that was so honorable. I didn't date around at all. And then I just had a series of situationships, and I completely tapped out of my romantic life, completely. At the time, I had every right to do so. I needed time to heal. I needed space to reflect on where I went wrong. I was honestly just sick of men, sick of their ill intentions. I had a negative outlook on dating. I had given up. And so I did. I gave up, and I just didn't date at all. I was barely trying. I wasn't meeting anyone. And that just sucks, y'all. It's not a good place to be. And I think a lot of the excuses that we make are kind of based in fear and a negative outlook on dating. I legit did not date for 2 years. I was on team tapout, and I made some lazy ass attempts at connecting with old flames. I made some lazy attempts at hitting some bars and hoping to get chose. I just made lazy attempts, and nothing really panned out. It was almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. I was just walking out the house and hoping that something happened without putting in any effort. So when I did not run into a husband every time I walked out my house for those 2 years, I was like, well, see, this is why I don't date. But I wasn't even trying. After about 2 years, I finally got the nerve and I decided to stop making excuses and just get the fuck back out there. What was the worst that could happen? I would still be single? Because newsflash, I was single. I still am, but I was just kind of fuck it, dip that pinky toe back in the water. That's really all I want y'all to do. Let's dust off the cobwebs, put on our big girl panties, the sexy kind, because we are going out on dates, okay? Probably one of the most popular excuses that I hear about dating burnout or, tapping out of dating is that dating is exhausting. And sis, I hear you. Dating is exhausting, but I feel like sometimes it's only as exhausting as we are making it. Something that worked for me is loosening the fuck up. Like, it's just a date. It's no big deal. It really is not that serious. And hey, like, it's normal to have nerves before seeing a new person. But honestly, women have it easier. All we gotta do is show up and look cute. And we're already cute. So just show up, basically. Like, I could do that. Like, it really does not have to be that complicated at all. And I know some of y'all hate small talk, but small talk doesn't have to be boring. Like, we gave some great examples during it was down in the DM. Someone had asked a question about first date questions on the Introverts episode with Valencia. I think that was episode 14. So spice up your conversation. I have always held this theory about boring people. If you go to a party and you didn't have a good time, why was that? Did you interact with people? Did you try to make new friends? Did you dance? Did you interact in the games? No. Okay, then. Like, of course the party was whack because you were being whack. I think of myself as an experience. So if you let me tell it, the party arrives when I do. Even if the people at the party are the lame ones, like, I'm still going to be engaging with people. I'm going to make a new friend or two. That's just how I am. Like, the times I have walked away and said that party was lame, it really had to be that nobody was dancing. Nobody's engaging me back in convo. Like, no one was cool at all. Like, and that happens, but not really. I feel like 9 times out of 10, it's our attitude about the function that precedes how we feel about it and how we interact with that event. Like, you walked in acting whack, so yeah, it's gonna be whack. Like, why are you waiting on people to make this party be lit for you? Control your own narrative. Apply that to going on a first date. What kind of experience are you bringing? And this ain't the same as what are you bringing to the table. That's not what I'm saying, because y'all know how I feel about that. All I'm saying is, what kind of experience are you bringing to the environment that you are in? Okay, so your date is quiet. Open him up a little bit with silly questions or thought-provoking questions, or you could just tell a funny story or just talk about your day. You know, you literally lose nothing by doing this. And if he is boring as fuck, so what? Don't talk to him after the date. Like, again, what do you have to lose here by getting dressed and sitting there and having a drink and food for 45 minutes to an hour and a half and just dragging your coworkers the whole time? Like, what's the big deal? Enjoying dating starts with your attitude before you even left the house. Peel back those layers on what your hesitation is on dating. Because if you feel weighed down by dating, I mean the simple act of going on a date with a guy to see if there is an interest there, you're probably doing it wrong. I'm sorry. So we need to rethink the experience that is dating and have fun. The hard truth is that we hate starting over. And that's the next excuse that I feel like I probably hear a lot. Some of y'all just don't want to see new guys because you got to go through the motions all over again. So I relate to this a lot because in my mind, like, dating is very similar to interviewing for a new job. You know, I actually want to do a whole episode on this, how dating and job hunting are the same. But in simple terms, you want more money, more benefits, more whatever. So you interview for a job. You go through all these rounds and you might not get the job at the end. It sucks to be rejected, but you still want money, right? So what are you going to do? You're going to keep going through the motions until you get what you want. And you eventually do because you keep trying. Some of y'all are going to ignore this analogy and say money is more immediate need than romantic partnership. And I just want to say that's some bullshit. Again, some of y'all are lying to yourselves, and I am here to keep you honest. Like, let's get scientific real quick. Maslow's hierarchy of needs has love and belonging right above your basic needs of employment and resources. The science is science in here, y'all. Like, I'm just saying. I can't wait to have my person and call him on the way home to talk shit about my day or just have someone to hang out with and do things with. That's immediate as fuck for me. The thought of having someone who matches my energy is exciting and exhilarating for me. And that motivates me to keep going because I'm just one step closer to finding that. And yes, sometimes I can get discouraged by rejection or, not being compatible with somebody. But you know what I do? I keep going through the motions until I get what I want. And eventually I will, because I keep trying. I am a dope employee. I am a dope woman. Someone is going to notice, and not by happenstance, but because I keep putting my best foot forward. Do that. Like, just keep getting out there. That's all that my goal is for y'all to take away from this episode. But like, I also feel like women attach too many serious emotions with dating. Like I said, dating should be fun. So, it can be a little bit difficult when you're looking for something serious and want a real connection. Some people just get frustrated. Like, but we take it too far sometimes, and I think that's why some women tap out of dating, because you get frustrated to the point where you're literally on the phone like, what are your intentions? Are you trying to make me a wife or not? Because I don't have time to waste and I need these eggs cracked. Okay? Yeah, no. Like, we can't do that. And I get it. Like, we just get so over dating. And it's like, I don't want to try anymore. Like, women hate doing this song and dance of dating way more than men. Men actually love dating because they just don't take it too seriously. But when you want something serious, it's hard not to be serious with your matches. You know what I mean? And I know that because I hated dating at one point too. And I just felt like I was wasting my time. I don't want to talk about my fucking favorite colors or my siblings. Like, I want to know if you're a man of integrity. I want to know your deep, dark secrets and, what energizes you. What are your hopes and dreams? What makes you feel the most love? Like, I want to skip straight to the good shit as soon as possible. But I'm here to tell y'all right the fuck now, that's not how this works. We can't skip to the marriage. We can't skip to the commitment. We can't skip to the serious. We cannot skip steps. That would be great if I could send checklists to new matches like that one idiot I mentioned in Goofy's a few weeks ago. But this is real life, y'all. And I think that that's going to be the hardest pill to swallow. Y'all have to learn to enjoy dating and enjoy the ride. Like, I remember dating feeling so heavy to me. It was like something I legit dreaded because I just didn't want to deal with any mess, any more disappointing, any more headaches, none of that. But what could I be so disappointed about from a simple date? And I will admit, and the men are going to applaud, I think the issue is expectations. I know that my expectations used to be really, really high for dating at one point. And I think that that is what truly caused me burnout. I was stressing myself the fuck out. Like, I felt like dating was supposed to look like X, Y, and Z. And honestly, y'all, that's just not how it works. Like, he's supposed to pull up my chair. He's supposed to text me first after the date. If he really liked me, he would do blah, blah, blah. He's supposed to replan the next date within a certain amount of time. And then, like, I would go on a full meltdown behind the scenes. Like, why is he dating me exactly the way that I think I'm supposed to be dated? Like, it sounds absurd saying it now, but like, a bitch was high strung, okay? Like, yeah, I believe in certain traditions still now, but I just want to have a good time. If I had a good time with the guy, it ain't nothing wrong with me reaching out and saying, hey, I had fun. If a guy's cool and the convo was hitting, then I'll definitely just shoot him a text. Had a great time. Let's do it again. What do I lose from that? Like, we got to check our own ego, but also our expectations. And that's also just good assurance for the person that you're seeing. Just saying, hey, I had a good time. You bought me dinner. You made me laugh. I just had a good time, y'all. But I know some of y'all are going to relate to this because our expectations be on 100. And if he does one thing wrong, makes one misstep, then it's just like, we have meltdowns. Again, it's just not that serious. Expectations was on 10 and it didn't need to be. It's just a date. Like, I have since learned that for me, I just want to be connected with quality men. I just want to have a drink and some good food and share some laughs and maybe learn something new and share a good experience with a new person. That is dating. And it took me a while to learn to have fun and not be so wound up about what was going to happen next or what this man's intentions were. Like, And child, let a man approach you and he don't speak to you in a manner you think is perfect or correct in the movies. Like, y'all, we gotta learn to relax. We gotta learn to just fall back and just date. The next excuse I hear is, I am still healing. Now, I'm gonna challenge y'all on this one. Are you still healing, or are you just keeping yourself in a holding pattern? I took 2 years off of dating, and after the first 6 or so months, honestly, I was just being lazy. Like, my excuse was that I needed time, and I needed to heal. I needed to evaluate. But I had already done the work for a few months. And at that point, after that 6 month mark, I was just making excuses because I didn't want to date and I didn't want to put myself back out there, and I'm not saying 6 months is the mile marker, but just for me in that 2 year span, it did not take me 2 years to figure my shit out. And again, if you are truly doing the work, then do so. But how are you going to know if the work is working if you aren't even testing it out? Like, if you dip the pinky toe in the water and decide it's a wrap, like old boy from Goals, then that's cool. I said that. But some people say that they are healing and doing the work, and they are really just sitting around, twiddling their thumbs, and just annoyed because the option seems slim. They hate dating and they don't want to try. So if your excuse is that you're healing, or you're doing some introspection, what are you actually doing? Are you in therapy? Are you reading self-help books? Are you working on your mental? Are you committing yourself to goals that impact how you present and how you are as a partner? You guys are listening to my show, which is awesome, but are you actually using any of the takeaways? Are you participating in the dating challenge this month? Like, what are you actually doing? Heal, sis, but also, let's keep it moving. You deserve not to be drowned by your heartache. You deserve to stop beating yourself up about letting some guy play you or lead you on. You deserve to be experienced and to be engaged in stimulating conversation and to be told you're pretty, and you deserve free food. Let's get your butts out there, okay? Excuse number 4 is something that I hate hearing. Well, men ain't shit. It ain't no good men out there. This is bullshit. Bullshit, bullshit, okay? There are some great guys out there, and we know them, and we probably have dated them. Like, I've stopped viewing success in my dating life as getting a husband or a boyfriend. I now view it as making quality connections with quality men. And if they're quality men, then that means they're quality men. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. If I meet a dude that's solid, then yeah, my dating life is going well. Whether it works out or not, or whether it's going to lead to commitment, that's secondary. Some of y'all have a negative outlook on dating, and that's not going to get you anywhere. I have mentioned the law of attraction a few times. If you think all men ain't shit, then that's just what's going to come to you. Like, if all men ain't shit, like, what's the point, huh? But you and I both know that isn't true. Follow those love pages, follow those couples pages, follow those marriage pages, like, read those stories, join those Facebook groups about dating, where people are interacting in real time and saying, I went out on a date, we've been out on 3 dates, things are going well. It's little encouragement like that. Maybe not, follow the marriage pages if that's, too long term for you, but get into spaces of people who are also dating. A win is a win, and a win might just look like, I went on a date with a nice guy. He's good on paper. He's good in real life. And we had a great time. Again, whether it works out, that's secondary. So to sit up here and say that men ain't shit or they're not good men out there, y'all know that that's not true. Hearing success stories is a driving factor for me personally. And hey, maybe it is luck for some of these people, but who says you won't get lucky? I saw someone say dating as a Black woman is like picking the least rotten apple. Girl, what the fuck? Like, I get it. We see some things that go on for other women, and like, we don't want no parts. Like, sometimes I'll post Screenshot Friday, and some of the girls just be like, nope, see, this is why I don't date. Come on, y'all. Like, I know it seems bad out there, but it only seems bleak when you have that bleak mindset and you're surrounding yourself with bleakness. Like, if you gotta mute me on Fridays because you're not in a space to see some crazy shit, then do that. Like, I'm okay with that. Like, that doesn't have to be your story, girl. Sitting here and acting like all men are trash is just a flat out lie. There are absolutely some fucked up men out there, and we gonna talk about them all the time. But there are some great ones too. And that's why I do goals as a part of the Goals and Goofy segment. I have shared some stories of men who were intentional in the beginning about their now wives or their current girlfriends. Even today, Prince Harry, the way he stuck up for his wife. There are men who are single and maybe fake healing like some of y'all claim to be. But some of these men are just as tired of the bullshit. They are just as ready to meet the one. Like, I have said this before, men who were looking for something serious before the pandemic happened are still looking for something now. You have to believe that this is a fact. Another excuse I hear a lot is people just not really knowing where to start. Well, you start by putting yourself out there, joining those dating apps, the Facebook groups, the meetup groups, the professional organizations in your industry. You start by starting. Make it known that you are open and interested in dating. Tell friends and family you are open. A lot of people meet their partners through mutuals. Put that shit in the atmosphere. Keep your eyes peeled in public for opportunities to engage with cute strangers. Well, can't really tell if they're cute because they be behind masks and stuff. Or compliment a guy's mask, do something like that and wait till I get outside and can social distance so you can see his face. But I know it's hard right now, so you all know me. I'm always team online dating. Some of y'all are anti-online dating though. And I get it, but I don't. Some of y'all are tired of the games and the bullshit. Online dating, it does feel like swamp diving sometimes. But I said this in episode 4, Dating Apps Are Ghetto. It is no different than the man you meet in real life. The man you meet in real life just take a little longer to uncover their intentions. I think women's biggest issue with the dating apps is how direct and downright ridiculous some of these men are. And that definitely can it can throw you off, you know what I mean? And it can make you kind of disappointed in what the pool is. But like I just said, don't surround yourself with that attitude that they're all crap, and don't get into that mindset. But I will acknowledge some of these men are discussing on these apps. Some of them cut straight to the chase and just lack couth. But my question is, why get bent out of shape about it? Some men be trying it. If it's one thing men gonna do, they gonna have the audacity and the fucking nerve. Okay? Y'all know this. Y'all have experienced this. Some men are gonna try to test you. They're gonna try you. They're gonna say wild things. Yes, it's annoying. But also, tough love. You gotta accept that shit and get the hell over it. There is no way that I'm excusing these disgusting men's behavior. But y'all take these apps way too seriously sometimes. Women get so outraged by the simplest shit. Oh my God, this guy matched me on the app and asked if I wanted to hook up. I just can't believe he did this. Who does he think I am? Some common whore? Let's break this down, y'all. Dude messages you on the app, barely makes pleasantries before he alludes to you coming over to his house and just tries to skip the whole process of dating. Or he just may say some straight up vulgar shit and it's just outright inappropriate, asking you if you want to fuck him or saying nasty stuff about your body. So the fuck what? Some men are gross. Who cares? Block them and move on. That is what I'm talking about. Some of y'all take this shit so serious sometimes. It's the internalizing for me, because a lot of women do get offended that he thinks that you're, some cheap woman who can be talked to like that. He is the one exhibiting poor behavior. It's a reflection of him and him only. He is a nasty little boy throwing darts at whatever will stick. It says nothing about you that he threw a dart unless it sticks. Some of these men have the fucking audacity and they need to be checked, yes. But if you messages into an online dating app, girl, no. Don't even waste your breath on it. Move on. But one dude gets nasty on Tinder and y'all just drop your phone the whore. Does he know who I am? No, he actually doesn't know who you are, sis. And he won't get the chance to either. He sent this message to 20 other girls. If you care enough, report him to the app. I am all about accountability. But I want y'all to stop making excuses because some raggedy dude said something silly. If you view dating as lighthearted, you should be the same way on the app. I've already broken down how to present yourself on the apps in episode 4, but I did just want to add one more thing here. As I alluded to earlier, I just want to have a good time and share a quality experience with a new guy. When I am on a dating app, my swipes are as simple as this. Can I sit across the table from this man and be comfortable and have a good time for 2 hours? That's it. Can I sit across the table from him? That is really that simple for me. I used to dissect profiles, how good we look together, how his profession would align with me and my life goals, will my friends accept him? Like all this shit from a man I've never even met or talked to yet. Like I was doing the absolute fucking most. Like I'm dragging myself here because it's funny now, but like dating apps are shallow for sure, but just keep it light, ladies. Why so serious? As I've said before, a lot of these excuses are rooted in fear. So one that I want to address is the fear of rejection or being hurt again. It's Women's History Month, and you know, one thing that I admire most about women is that we are resilient as fuck. Women get rejected all the time. Like whether it's a man only wanting us for sex or only wanting us for convenience or not wanting us at all or wanting us and other women. Like there's levels to this. But women just have this amazing bounce back that, sorry guys, men just don't have. Men are used to getting rejected for sure, but they don't have that same bounce back like we do. I see women go through all kinds of things and they still find the capacity to love again. And that is just so beautiful to me. Meanwhile, men are still talking about the walls they got built up and are dogging women out because the girl from the 6th grade didn't like him. But I just want y'all to tap into that resiliency and that power. There is no preventing being hurt and being rejected. None. That's out of our hands. But the ability to bounce back is what matters. Getting back out there is what matters. And y'all are going to get tired of me saying this, but I need y'all to hear it. Bouncing back from heartaches, rejections, being hurt is the easiest when you know your worth. I have said it before. Lick those wounds, take your time, your days, your weeks, whatever, but then get back on the saddle, sis. Like, yes, that shit hurts or it's disappointing, but when you love yourself, who cares about this one guy not committing? He is not worthy of you and your time, okay? Before I wrap up, I want to address the I am too busy excuse briefly. No, you're not. What are you doing right now while you're listening to this show? If you aren't driving or at the gym, you could be connecting with people right the fuck now. I don't want to hear it. Like, honestly, truly. Your nights and weekends are not fully booked for the next 4 weeks. Like, I had a very fulfilled, full life before the Rona. I had many extracurriculars, and I still found the time to date. Why? Because I made dating a priority. And that to me is why a lot of women are not dating, because they're not making it a priority. You hate working out, but fitness is a priority to you, so you do it. And guess what? You learn to love it. Make dating a priority, just like you make other stuff a priority. I almost want to say make dating great again, but I just feel like it's too soon, and I'm triggered. So yeah, scratch that. But seriously, you need to make logging in onto the apps like a part of your weekly schedule if need be. Like you need to make dating a priority. Like you make schoolwork, your normal work, your family, whatever the case may be. Go on those dates. Like you are working full-time and in school. Okay, and you don't have classes every night. You have kids. Okay, so send them to your friends or the family's house. Like, mom, you deserve a fucking night just to feel sexy. And them kids will be all right at their granny house. Like, y'all just gotta stop with the busy excuse. You made time for shit that you want to make time for. If you met the guy of your dreams today, look at how magically your schedule would open up, okay? You could be one date away from meeting the love of your life. But you still have to go on the damn date. Or you could be 100 dates away. But you still got to go on those 99 dates. Like, dating is a necessary evil, and I would much rather you guys enjoy yourselves and enjoy the ride and just have a positive look about it. Let's put the fun back in finding romance. Let's put the D back in dating. Hey! All right, guys, now it's time for your dating tip of the week. Be vulnerable. This is way easier said than done, y'all. But there is an art to opening yourself up to a person without giving your full story or your full self away. Just be vulnerable. And for you guys, just going on a date may be vulnerable for you, but just try something in the next week or the next month where you're just putting yourself in a situation that makes you slightly uncomfortable, because that means you're being challenged, and that's a good thing. So definitely with someone you're dating or seeing, it's okay to kind of open yourself up a bit without giving it all away. So dating tip of the week, be vulnerable. All right, guys, it's time for Down in the DMs. So down in the DMs is where you guys send me DMs, emails, text messages, whatever, because you want questions or because you have questions or you want advice about something. So this week, where did I get hit up about this one? I think this was a DM on Instagram. So... And again, I don't have a name. Have I used Sasha as a name yet? We're going to do Sasha this week. So it says, dear Listen to Your Single Friend, I've been trying to find dates on various dating apps. Which one do you think is the best? I've done Tinder and Bumble, and there's this new site called The League now. What do you think is the best place to try to meet a guy that isn't just trying to have a one-night stand? So here's the thing. There are men trying to have one-night stands on every app, including Match.com, including all the ones that you pay for. So, as I've kind of said earlier in the segment, you have to just understand that there are going to be some guys that are just on that, and you need to be able to identify that quickly and keep it moving, okay? As far as dating apps, I think it's just a personal preference. My thing is, I've said before, don't do more than 2 at a time, because now that can get exhausting. Having to check all your messages and do all of that. I personally don't have success on Tinder, but I know plenty of people who have. So, for me, just my personal preference, I like Hinge. I like that men have to fill out prompts in order to, have a profile. And just the other day, I was talking to this guy on Hinge, and he was good looking, but like he kind of half-assed his prompts. So I was just kind of like, was you not going to even try? To me, that showed me that he was a low effort kind of guy, because one of the prompts asked him something and he just said yes. But it wasn't a question that was a yes or no question. And it's just like the fact that you have asked this, you're not putting your best self out there. So for me, I like Hinge because you have to fill out the stuff. And if I get on your profile, on a guy's profile, and I don't see where he has filled out his prompts or has not putting true care into it, then that just tells me what I need to know, honestly. So I like Hinge for that reason, because it requires it. Tinder, Bumble, I don't think you have to have a profile or put that much details into your bio. So there's that. I'm getting ready to try Facebook dating soonish. The League is cool. I personally would not use the League if you are not willing to pay, though, because oh my God, the League is expensive. But if you're not willing to pay, I wouldn't do it, because you can only match with 3 people a day. It's like the 3 people they give you. So, it's just not enough for me to be committed to coming back every day, because it's like you literally only get 3 people. But I have said on all these apps, if you're willing to just invest a little bit of money and pay for one of the tiers, most of these Tinders, Bumbles, whoever have a paid level, it'll show you first who has matched with you first, and you kind of get I don't know. I just feel like it's better because you get to see who liked you first and then you get to evaluate them there. I just feel like it kind of helps you control things a little bit more and control who you want to match with, as opposed to just swiping left, swiping right, and just, hoping for a good time. And the truth is, some of these guys are just swipey, swipey, swipey on every single person. And then if they match great. So some people just don't be invested, but don't be discouraged by that. But try them all out. Like, if you want to, take 2 weeks and try out Tinder. Take 2 weeks and try out Bumble. Take 2 weeks and try out the League. Like, it really is a personal preference, because you can name any app, guys, and I have met someone who's in a serious relationship or married. Okay? So just give it a try. Put yourself out there and try some of these non-traditional things. Get into these Facebook dating groups. Some of them are a little ratchet. Some of them are a little ratchet. But get into these dating groups, or get into these Facebook groups that are around specific topics and hobbies. And then just creep on people's profiles. Like, ain't no shame in my game. Instagram, Twitter, like, there ain't no shame in my game at all. People be like turning up their nose at the dating apps, but Instagram and Tinder are serving the same exact purpose, and you actually get more information. So yeah, try that. Wish you the best of luck, Miss Sasha. Thank you. All right, guys, it is time for trivia. Studies show that if you want to create an instant link with a date, do blank at least twice in the conversation. This shows attentiveness and connectedness. Is it A, touch his leg, B, hold direct eye contact, C, repeat something he said, or D, say his name? What should you do at least twice in the conversation? You'll have to find out on next week's episode for the answer. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening this week. Still on this March challenge, peeps, so don't forget, go on one date this month. Message me if you need an extra push. Like, I'm not trying to play with y'all. Like, I really wanted to do this episode to give y'all a nudge. I have some fun episodes coming up shortly, some more guest hosts that I am excited about. I am catching up with the guys on the Weed and Whiskey podcast, so I will give you guys info about that very shortly once that is out. But thanks for listening to the show this week. Stop what you're doing right now and review my show. Yes, you. Review it. Please and thank you. Share, subscribe, like. Thank you, guys. Talk to you next week. Hey, 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 hey.